Yes. The question is it permissible for a government to regulate markets in order to preserve the health of the environment? Of course, because it is haram to pollute the environment. You have to show respect for what Allah has created. So a government can impose laws which restrict such businesses that would harm the environment. Okay? But imposing wage control, which is called minimum wage legislation. The reason why they're doing that is because as the value of money falls, the laborer is moving towards slave labor. Did you hear that? As the value of money falls, the laborer moves more and more in the direction of slave labor. He's already reached slave labor in Haiti. He's already reached slave labor in Indonesia. He's already reached slave labor in Egypt, in Pakistan, in Bangladesh, in much of Africa today. He's already reached slave labor. As the value of money falls, the laborer is moving more and more in the direction of slave labor. But when it becomes too clear that this is slave labor, it brings about a certain embarrassment. The reason why they demolished or dismantled apartheid in South Africa is because it was too embarrassing for them. Not that they had any moral qualms about apartheid. No, these people have no morality. They don't worship any God. No, the people who control power I'm talking about, not the ordinary American. They dismantled apartheid in South Africa because it was becoming too great an embarrassment from them. They dismantled Western slavery, the enslavement of the African people, and putting them to work as slaves in the United States and South America and the Caribbean, because slavery was becoming too great an embarrassment for them, not because it was morally reprehensible. No. Similarly with minimum wage legislation, as people's wages lose value and they move more and more in the direction of slavery, slave wages, number one, it becomes more and more of an embarrassment for them, but number two, it now opens the possibility that the lid will fly off and the masses will rise up in violent rebellion. Slave master doesn't want that. The slave master wants the slaves to continue to work docile. So what he does is to impose minimum wage legislation that will keep the cover on and avoid violent rebellions. But in Islam there is no minimum wage legislation.